Patriots.
Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim.
What's up, boys?
Rock and roll, Matty Goldberg. Gentlemen, how's your week? What's going on?
Pretty good week.
It's been awesome so far. I had a great weekend. Got the Christmas lights put up after Thanksgiving, so that was fun.
Have you recovered from your diarrhea?
Yes, I have taken many a solid shit since then.
Have
Your
you got
diarrhea.
You got some good ornaments?
Well, dude, she goes hard for Christmas. We got two trees. We have a tree for the bedroom and a tree for the living room.
Why do you need a tree for the bedroom?
She wants to. She loves Christmas. She loves the holidays.
Okay.
And we're supposed to be getting snow tonight too.
Why do the songs sound so sad to me? Like they don't sound happy. Like all these like jewelry.
The Christmas songs?
Yeah, they seem so sad.
What do you mean?
I don't know. They're not really uplifting. It's like these weird love songs. Because you get more jewelry commercials during football. I don't know what I'm saying. I guess it's like guilting.
You just wish you had a girlfriend to buy expensive, stupid jewelry.
You just watch 9 hours of football. You better buy your girlfriend something nice.
They're trying to guilt you. That's what it is, Maddie.
It's terrible. These sad songs.
Maddie, listen, if you want to get laid, just go out and buy some K's. Because every kiss begins with K's.
Every kiss begins with J. He went to Jared's. And I'm in my sweats.
You went to Jared's in your sweats?
It's almost good as Kamala Harris is for they, them.
That commercial was an all-timer. I don't care. I don't care about anything.
For they, them.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch all the conference championship games this weekend?
Yeah, I did pretty much.
I watched a few of them, not as much as I'd like.
I watched them all.
I watched every single one, but this was also like the year where the hype for college for like the conference championships was diminished a bit for a good chunk of them.
It was.
I gotta say so too.
Really?
A lot of people.
You don't think SMU Clemson was high?
No. Like I think the games were great. I thought the games were fantastic. I thought everything was great, but that one was a good one. But the Big Ten, like the Big Ten was a good game. Like Penn State. Penn State Oregon was a good game, but you knew both teams were making the playoff.
I understand what you're saying, and I get
it.
The
SEC was the only one that was like a straight up bad game. Like that game was not a good game.
No, that was still a good game.
Those teams like Texas played like shit.
And
Georgia didn't either.
I mean, it went to overtime.
It was close, but it was sloppy. It was
a sloppy.
I think the ACC and Big Ten were awesome.
It's because Texas. I know you're going to think I'm crazy here, but I will compare Texas, Georgia to Michigan, Ohio State, where you're watching the first half and you're like, oh, Texas will eventually win this game by 14, 17, but it's super close because their quarterback sucks and they don't take advantage of opportunities and they let Georgia stay in the game. And then you're sitting there and they're like, how do we lose this game? They're talent-wise, they're so much better. It's just, bad coaching and whatnot. And it was a dramatic game, even though it was sloppy and Texas played badly, but it was still a close, awesome game.
It was, but also there's no stakes in that one.
I disagree.
What are the stakes?
The bye. Ask NFL teams,
No, the bye is important in that one. That's fair. That's a fair point.
Absolutely. You got to play one less game.
I agree with that.
The bones are going to take its toll. Like these are the longest college has played. So like one less game a week of extra to rest up is huge here.
I agree with that because I was having an argument with somebody at work the last couple of days who was saying that it was actually advantageous to not have the bye but have an easier path.
That doesn't make any sense.
So
I think in football you
want the bye every time
because it's a hurt sport. Everybody gets hurt.
Because someone was arguing, it's like actually from winning the Big Ten and getting the 1 seed, Oregon has a tougher road than Penn State.
That's
I
crazy.
I think that is a tough draw for them because you now have to beat Ohio State twice if Ohio State moves on.
Or
Uh,
Tennessee.
or Tennessee, but at least you haven't played Tennessee. I feel like beating a tough team twice
Mm-hmm.
is really hard, and it's almost not fair to the team who won the first time.
Look, the cream will rise to the top, and I think Oregon will be fine. I think I don't know who else comes out of this, but I wouldn't be worried about
Who's your first
Oregon.
round winners, Maddie?
Give me the games.
So
I
you
got
have so you have the 8-9 or 7-8. It was
yeah, I gotta
Ohio
go
State.
Notre Dame, unfortunately.
Notre Dame hosting Indiana for the Indiana State
Then I gotta
championship
go,
game.
unfortunately, Ohio State. And that's
Ohio
not
State over
because I think Ohio
Tennessee.
State is great. I think Tennessee is overrated.
They're also like super banged up right now.
And what do you got? SMU versus
SMU versus not Georgia.
Penn State.
Penn State. SMU at
Yeah,
Penn State.
I got to go
That's
SMU
that's
for
a
this.
coin
I have not
toss.
seen them play, but Franklin cannot win a big
No, he
fucking
does.
game.
No, he doesn't
true,
win
but
big games.
also he can't win a big game against like a top like 5 opponent.
Right.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
he plays down to teams, and it's that's
I think it'll be a great game though.
that's going to be a hell of a game. But
And
I'm
then you
telling
have
you, you'd rather have the bye. You'd rather be the number one seed altogether.
and you
Ohio
got
State and
Clemson at
Tennessee are going to
Texas,
hit.
Maddie.
What's up?
You got Clemson and Ohio at Texas still.
Yeah, I think that's a. I think Clemson is getting more confident, and Texas showed me that they're frauds. They showed me that they're absolute, like where they have the roster to be special. The coaching was bad. The quarterback playing was terrible. Um, I'm just not a believer in them because it's like one of those things where the best coaches find ways to win and the bad coaches don't.
I respect that.
So that's a 50-50 game, and I got to give Dabo Sweeney the edge in coaching. Just like
Wow.
it's like that the fake punt Georgia had. It's like the balls to do that. It takes a special coach to call a fake punt in a big time game like that. I think it was tied when they did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
By
In
the
their
way,
own
are
territory.
any of you guys shocked that Clemson is in this thing? Not because they don't deserve to be, but just because they just feel like they've been falling off a cliff
They
for a few
find
years
ways to
now.
win.
Well, so like yeah, they lucked into it with
They
like
did.
that's like Fran Brown was saying after Syracuse beat Miami that Dabo better be kissing his ass because they fell
Absolutely.
in to this game here.
But you know what happens is I've seen that a lot in sports where I think the Giants, when they won the Super Bowl one year, like they needed a lot of luck the last week of the season. I've seen teams like
I,
have a 10% chance to make the playoffs and then make a deep run just because they're on house money and they're very dangerous now. And whatever, they're in. It doesn't matter. They did what they needed to do.
Well, and I will say, like the conference, winning a conference championship, I think is going to be depending on what happens in future years. But that's got to be the only way a 3-loss team gets in.
Yeah.
Because
dude, Bama was close. Bama was super
I mean, they were
close.
stumping for Bama, and I'm so glad they didn't because their losses were insanely bad. But this is like, okay, we're 10-3, but we beat someone good at the end of the year. So okay, we can get in now. Like
Yeah, they very much didn't want to punish any teams playing in the conference championship games either. That's why SMU, good on them. They deserve it.
yeah.
My whole argument has been if SMU wasn't going to get in, it shouldn't be Bama. I'd say fuck it. Slot BYU in. Who cares? Put Army in. Dude, BYU beat them. That's BYU beat SMU straight up. So that's the team I would argue for. They're 10-2.
Yeah.
BYU.
Yeah.
But the problem was the way they finished was so bad,
I mean,
like
they
they
didn't.
finished bad.
Yeah, you mean not losing to an
You
Oklahoma
probably
team?
got to lose early and finish strong.
That's all. Yeah, that's been like through all the years of the 4-team
That's why
playoff.
South Carolina
Losing
was
early is
coming.
huge.
Yes, South Carolina was coming, man. They were
But
right
it
there
is
knocking on that door.
really, really cool though to see all these matchups that would normally be just throwaway bowl games now actually mean something.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
I'm so hyped to see Arizona State.
You got like
Yep.
12 teams that are not going to have any opt-outs and things like that. That's
Let's hope not.
fucking exciting. Whereas maybe you'd have 4 before this. So,
I bet on
super
Arizona
hyped.
State big.
I'm super hyped for the playoff games on campuses because this will be like Tennessee, Ohio State in the shoe at night in December.
It's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, that's going to be good.
Orgasm time.
So the first round games are the only ones where they get to host them at home, right?
Yeah, so the first rounds are all at home stadiums. So like it's at Ohio State, at Penn State, at Notre Dame, at Texas. And then Oregon plays the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Texas, Georgia gets the Sugar Bowl. Arizona State gets the Peach Bowl, which sucks for them. They have to travel. They get a weird one. And then Boise State gets the Fiesta Bowl.
Where's the Peach Bowl at?
Arizona.
Is it in Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh.
Never mind.
How far they... They're the team that has to travel.
Glendale, Arizona, not Glendale, California.
No, Maddie. Atlanta.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that makes more sense. Peach, Georgia,
the Peach Bowl.
Georgia, Peach.
Yeah, Arizona State gets the Peach Bowl.
Oh, you said the Fiesta?
No, Boise State gets the Fiesta Bowl.
Don't get mad at me. Don't.
No, I'm sorry.
No, what you doing, Maddie?
I was gonna say Boise State gets the Fiesta Bowl because they were higher seeded, so they get to choose.
Shoot. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see how Boise State does. I mean, it's going to be tough because their talent is probably not as good as these major conferences that they will have to play against. But
they put up the best fight against Oregon of any team this season.
You got to be in it to win it. And they played great against UNLV. Everybody was kind of like, this is a trap game. It's going to be hard to beat UNLV twice. They're going to choke. They got, usually when teams have this opportunity, they play really tight, and they took care of that game. They played lights out D and scored when they needed to. That was a good game Friday night.
And Ash Genty still went off.
Hit the under.
God, he's good.
Yeah, he's a great running back. He's got power.
That was a little bit of a letdown for me because I had heard all this shit about UNLV's offense all year.
Oh, their quarter they laid an egg on offense.
If they had Tate Martell, they would have won that game.
I think this is also like maybe how in the talks was Barry Odom with Purdue.
Oh, yeah, because that happened pretty quickly right after.
It happened pretty quick, which would be crazy because like UNLV was a game like if they win that game, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
right. Then you can probably might even be able to do better than Purdue at that point. Their OC he's been in the talks for offensive coordinator at Michigan, even though it was a little lower down the ladder. But that offense was supposed to be very exciting, and then it just stunk.
It was for a good chunk of the season, and their run defense for a good chunk of the season was really good. Like they were the best team in the regular season and actually stopping Genty, and he went off in this game. Didn't care.
Jim, so what? Can we say enough about Arizona State?
Probably
without missing their best wide receiver.
Probably coach of the year.
Insane.
Oh, easily.
Where did he come from?
He's from there.
He looks like a young guy.
That was like his dream.
Maddie,
I'm
going to look it up to confirm. He's got to be mid-30s, I think.
He looks very young.
Yeah.
Kenny Dillingham is 34. He is 4 years older than me.
Predicted by everybody to finish last in
the Big 12. Well, dude, think about it. Like, they're not that far removed from the Herm Edward years.
When Ohio
and how bad those were at the end.
Yeah.
They were like 3-9 last year.
Oh, yeah.
You think Ohio State goes
for him? I
don't think so.
Back up the truck for him.
Yeah. So before this, he was the OC. Before last year, he was the OC at Oregon.
Okay.
And then he was the OC at Florida State 2020, 2021, OC at Auburn, and then Memphis.
So he's been around. He's been kicking around.
So he was a coach last year? Or was that still her?
2023 was his first season.
Okay. So
what was their record last year?
They went like 3-9 or something like that.
Yeah, they didn't have a good year.
That is an amazing turnaround. Holy shit.
Hell yeah. Wow. He has a lot of energy.
He's the youngest coach in football.
Well,
yeah, and it's cool because he's from Arizona. This was like his dream job. He always wanted to coach there.
I've always thought Arizona State could be good too. Like one of the Arizona schools could like come out and be good.
They've
Well,
always been off and on through my
Mm-hmm.
time watching college football. I remember one of my first earliest memories was watching them beat Michigan, I think, in the Rose Bowl,
Dude,
like in '86 or '87.
I think 96. I remember people talking about when they beat like the number one ranked Nebraska team.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
Jeez,
had Jake Plummer.
damn
that's
right they
right.
did.
He's a good quarterback. And you had that one man, and Pat Tillman. May he rest in peace.
Are
Yeah,
there any other bowls that you guys are excited for?
I mean,
I haven't even
I
I
don't
haven't
know
even
because they don't
looked.
play anybody. So like I'm
I had
curious about
two.
Michigan, Alabama, but if they're not going to play anybody, what do I care?
Well,
I
you could
had
see the stars of tomorrow.
I had two that I was excited for. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, just to potentially see PJ Fleck get dunked with
With
mayo.
his bald head, it'll be like
Yeah,
Bukaki.
it would be awesome.
Yeah.
The Texas Bowl, Baylor versus LSU. I think
Oh, that's a
that
doozy.
that's just like offense. I don't care what the opt outs are. That's just no defense, all offense. Baylor, like the last half of the season, the last 6 games, was like a top 4 offense in the country. So I'm
Will
excited
you,
for points.
will you bet the over?
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
Probably. And then I had the ReliaQuest written down just because you're gonna learn a lot of names in Michigan versus Alabama.
Oh yeah. Well, Michigan was like already playing a lot of people they never played all year against Ohio State. Like it was very funny. Like people I didn't even know were on their team were already playing. So I'm excited to see these guys, go forward with the team. But there we've had Kiffin also made a good point though. He's like, it was a dumbass move to have the portal open before the bowl games.
It's it the schedule of college football is so stupid.
Yeah. And well, I know there's already a ton of opt-outs for Michigan already. So like fuck if I know you're going to see even more faces than you thought you were going to see. New
The portal,
faces.
especially because with how much the rosters are having to shrink, this has the potential to be like the biggest portal ever
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because everyone has to shrink down to 105.
What were the rosters at before?
I just know Nebraska off the top of my head. So, like, if you exclude seniors leaving and include freshmen coming in, Nebraska was sitting at around 148.
Oh my God.
So, I feel like that's fairly typical. So, you have to shrink, every roster has to shrink down to 105.
Oh wow.
So, you're going to see a lot of people in the portal.
Yeah. Yeah. How's Nebraska doing with the portal right now?
We got our running back in. He was in the portal. We got him back.
Yeah.
We lost a 5-star tight end, but if you guys remember the story from early on the season, it was the tight end that was robbing vape shops. So
No, I don't remember that story.
oh, dude, that was like a big thing, Nebraska preseason.
Why did we not talk about that?
He played.
Is he on the team still or
no? He's in the portal now.
okay?
He was on LSU. He was at Florida, and then now he's at Nebraska. He's maybe played like 2-3 full games total his entire college football career.
In Nebraska.
There's some, yeah.
Well, he'll have a lot of fun there.
He got caught robbing from a vape shop early, like this spring, and then obviously like not doing anything. So suspended, still on the team but not playing, and then in the portal now to his 4th school in 4 years.
Jesus. Yeah, they're gonna have some more rules with that coming on. Like you can't just go around robbing vape shops and then moving out of state afterwards.
Oh, who's to say? Innocent.
You gotta pay for your crimes.
That's right. And some of those
Maddie, you love the law. You love the law.
Maddie's a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah. It's like Gerard Butler.
Yeah. Like Charles Bronson.
Yeah. All right. Well, it will be. I mean, I'm sure I'll still watch bowl games no matter what.
Oh, football's football.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed in Texas this weekend, though. I thought they had the worst weekend. I thought that was a game that I'm like the first quarter. I'm like, they are arguably the best team in the country, and they should be. And then for them to just not take care of that game and lay an egg, and Quinn Ewers doesn't make any plays. I find him to be the most overrated quarterback. There's a guy I know who claims he's an insider in my poker group who says he'll be a first-round pick. I wouldn't take him in the 7th round. He's garbage.
He's had flashes, but he's so inconsistent.
And don't tell me what he does against Mississippi State and all these
No,
other.
like, I remember watching him last year. He had moments of like where he was playing
he does.
excellent.
He has moments, but he like there's real G's like Joe Burrow, Jalen Daniels, like those guys don't slip up.
He has been like straight up bad for a good chunk of this
he's
year.
not. Look, he'll beat bad teams, but like that was a bad game where even for the championship at the next level, you want to see your guy, absolutely dominate and take control and lead and win. And that was a very winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the play calling stunk, and Sarkisian whining about the penalties was dumb, but whatever.
What about Kirby at the end and whining about they had to play 4 road games this season?
Oh, he's shut up. He's
Did you see?
You know what he's like? He's like Travis Kelce when it's like, nobody believed in us. Ridiculous.
That's Georgia for you, though. Whines. You know who's really going to get to play that card right now and like little old us and no one believes in us is Dabo at Clemson. He's going to live. He's going to like yuck it up. He loves it. He
also can brag that we had nobody from the transfer portal. And you got to say, what it's like the analogy of comedy. You got to be like, he doesn't curse.
Well, we'll see how good of a coach he is because they had like not a great recruiting class either. So
they lost to dude. Aside from SMU, which full credit to them, they lost to every good team they played this season.
Well, it's just like the NIL is changing everything, and he doesn't give a shit about that, and he doesn't give a shit about the portal. It's just dumb. He will, or he'll be looking for a job.
Yeah, he'll retire.
It's like Coach K wouldn't take a one and done kid for like a good 5 or 6 years, and then I was like, okay, we'll take him.
But the one and done thing though, like I'm telling you, those guys are like, I agree. Like I would be okay if my coach never took a one and done guy because unless they're going to come in as like a guy off the bench or something like that. Usually they take so long to mesh with the team.
But Duke had success with those guys, and he didn't take them, and then he gave in.
Sure. And now they got about 4 players on their team now that are like one and doneers. And they might not do much in the tournament either. But we'll see how they are at the end of the year. But anyway, Dabo is, if you look at recruiting this year, it's totally different from.
He will pretend that they are.
You still have your top 3-4 teams, but Michigan actually hasn't recruited well.
Ole Miss, baby. Ole Miss.
Now they're like in the top 10, moving up. Could even move higher up to in the 5.
Unless your Boise
Penn State is number 5 right now.
Unless you're Boise State or Indiana, you can't really use your little guy kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. For sure. But it will be a load of fucking fun, no matter what. NFL.
Yes.
The Chiefs.
Dude, how
sold their souls to Satan.
How do they keep getting away with it?
It's 4 wins like this. It's weird because they've won 3 games with guys missing field goals on the other side. And then they hit one. It's like they should have missed it.
They doink it in.
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy.
They're gonna fuck their way into a Super Bowl somehow.
I don't know. I think when you saw when they lost the Bills, it's just okay. That's probably how it's gonna go down. I think when they get to the playoffs, this shit's gonna run out.
They're making it easy for themselves because the Bills make it hard for themselves. I just feel like the stupid coach for the Bills is wasting Josh Allen's window, but
Matty, you've been anti-McDermott forever, and
I stand by it. I mean,
you should.
A good game, and the big play in that game was 4th and 7 on a holding call, and he could have declined the penalty and made him kick a field goal, but he pushed them back, and they got the first down because they were fourth and manageable. And I'm like, why would you give him 2 chances when your defense has been horrible all game? You basically put the game out of reach for yourselves.
But then they had an opportunity and they fucking run it with like
the coaching has
wasting a
always been
timeout.
bad. They've always it's like they always find ways to not, it's like Steve Sarkisian in a sense.
They made history. The Bills made history this week.
And that's bad.
They the first team in NFL history to score 6 touchdowns with no INT, no turnovers, and lose.
Crazy. I think we got to talk about the Vikings too, because as much as we want to like crown the Lions, the Vikings are still kicking around. I mean, the Vikings are still winning. Granted, they've had an easier schedule, but you don't apologize for wins, and they've only lost 2 games. And Sam Darnold played really well last week.
Yeah, this was his best game, I think.
One a weird one of his too, because I think he's only a 1-year guy, so he's gonna demand a lot of money, and then they don't know what they have in McCarthy yet.
I know they don't know what to do.
So I don't know what
I bet they roll with McCarthy.
They must well. This is all supposed to be part of a rebuild too.
Yeah,
they're
way ahead,
exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
The Falcons, however, are just completely fucked. Because they're like stuck 2 more years with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think they'll let him go because
should they play Penix?
Not this year, but next year.
Why not this year?
I say play him this year. Penix is old. He's old too.
Then that's it. You're done with Cousins. Once you bench him, there's no return.
Okay.
Well, all right, fine.
I don't know. He stinks. He stinks right now.
Yeah.
He is who he is.
But he's always been like mediocre to like
and it's exactly
decent.
Who he is.
No, but he's straight up bad right now.
The Vikings had look at the Vikings weapons, like when Addison and Jefferson are going with Hawkinson, and that's what he had last year.
And I guess he had Diggs and Thielen and whatnot for a good chunk of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he is who he is. And he's an average quarterback. That because the NFL is so top heavy, an average quarterback can get a max a deal and be like, oh, well, just maybe, because Kirk Cousins shows moments of brilliance, we can get him all the time on board like that. But he's always going to be an average player.
Exactly. I put Penix in, just like you got to see. Luke's right. He's old.
We're getting there. We're getting to that place.
Like you don't have that much time to evaluate. It's weird
because early in the season it kind of looked like, oh, this might be a genius move. Ride it out with Cousins, make the playoffs a few years, then get rid of him. And Penix is ready to step in, and then it's like,
Well, I think it's probably coming next year.
Now it looks like a dipshit move.
Who would go for Cousins? What team would go for Cousins?
It'll probably be like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type backup. Kind of
Titans.
No, I'm saying like a Ryan Fitzpatrick backup. He'll float around the NFL for a few years, he might go to the Jets. The Jets would just be like, look, we suck so bad. We're going to move away from Aaron Rodgers just to have a bridge guy.
He's not a massive contract though, too.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure with a no trade clause.
Yeah, I don't. It basically would be another team that just they feel is lacking a quarterback. I don't know, the Raiders maybe. Who knows?
The Raiders are gonna get Shedeur, baby.
Oh, Shedeur.
That's what Dion was saying. He wants his son to go to the Raiders.
Maybe he thinks he's gonna coach there.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna stick with Antonio Pierce.
Nah, he's not long for the NFL, unfortunately.
It's a tough racket. It was a good week though, games.
Oh, what about the Seahawks, boys?
Seahawks are playing good.
Right there. Mike McDonald, baby. Cardinals falling apart.
Yeah, Cardinals are,
classic Cardinals.
Yeah. You got to give the Panthers credit because they're playing a lot better.
Dude, shout out. Bryce Young looks so much better. He looks like an actual quarterback.
That just shows hey, you can sit a young guy down for a couple of games, let him sit, let him watch. It's not the worst thing.
It's also like a game where you if you're not watching it, you look at his stats, you're like, okay, 130 something yards, but you don't see the plays he's making when he's doing it.
It's just proof it's okay to let guys sit for that it's not the worst thing. We've seen a lot.
And how much of being a quarterback is just straight up mental.
Absolutely.
It's fucking meant to, mate.
Oi.
100, as the kids say today. 100.
Man, what about the Rams? How serious should we be taking these guys now?
They're good, man. When they're healthy and their offense is kicking,
they look
they
good.
are really good.
Yeah.
I have the Rams classified under dangerous, like could make some noise in the play. I don't think they make like the NFC Championship or make a Super Bowl or anything like that, but they could win a playoff game or two. They could make they could do some damage.
They could.
Yeah, when they're on and they're healthy, they look, man, as good as anybody. But it's
if I'm the Lions, I don't want to see him in the second round.
No, no, definitely not. I would never
the
want
Lions,
to go against
the Rams playing
Sean
tough.
McVay team, no matter what he's
got. No. Plus, they're starting to pick it up.
The second they get a lead, the way McVay like dials it up on offense is just
And the receivers are great. I mean, Kupp and McClure are fantastic.
They're a thing of beauty.
All right. We got coming up Thursday, Rams, Niners. Niners kind of look good again. So
you guys didn't want to talk about the Simpsons game? I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's right.
I did not see it.
So what did they do? They just had the Simpsons guys
it's like the slime and everything, the Nickelodeon game where they
a little bit of that, and then they would do like
sorry, explain it, Jim.
It was kind of like, so you know how when they go do all their graphics, they scan the stadium and all that stuff. They were kind of like doing replays of like the Simpsons characters and stuff like that, getting tackled, making throws. It was very weird.
Yeah, it was basically like, so you could watch an animated version of it where the quarterback would be like Homer Simpson and then Lisa Simpson's running around the edge.
There's one where a DB was Mo.
Oh yeah.
Was anybody the guy with the butt, the plumber's butt? The guy who's always at the bar.
That's
which one is he?
I forget his name. I haven't watched The Simpsons in years.
I can't remember. It's been a minute since I watched. Yeah, that guy. All right, guys. I can't do voices.
The Scottish janitor would have been my favorite if I was watching.
You could have done the whole Coming to America scene. Did you watch?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind getting high and watching that. That would have been fun.
But it was a good game. Joe Burrow's good. He got his house robbed last night. And then it revealed.
Dude, are we like concerned about his wardrobe choices at all?
No, but he's on my fantasy team, and I'm the second seed in the playoffs, and I have him and Chase, so he better not get distracted. A lot of money on the line, so he better fucking step it up.
What about that influencer he's dating, Matty? As was revealed, with the burglary.
His assistant.
It's his assistant.
Well, that's what they said, but obviously it's his girlfriend.
Yeah. No, if you have,
she must love living in Cincinnati,
baby.
But hey, it's Joe Burrow.
No, I don't know. All these guys date influencers now. I want to see.
Must suck though that you don't date a quarterback in like New York or Los Angeles or Miami.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
I mean, what city is worse than Cleveland? Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Who's DeVito dating?
Who knows?
DeVito, you don't get to know who DeVito's dating. He's on the down low.
You'll get whacked, buddy.
Right. No one talks about him outside of his community.
Nope.
All right, let's talk about the games coming up. So Rams Niners Thursday night.
Bills,
I think that's going to be good.
Big one.
That's always good. What's that, Matty?
Bills
Lions is the big one.
Oh yeah, of course.
Everybody, I think the Bills are going to win that, but you never know with McDermott. But it's kind of like the Lions are due for a loss. The Bills are coming off a tough loss.
Yeah.
But whatever, man. It's like
that 125 slot.
America's game.
Really
Tony Romo and Jim Nantz.
I mean, or the 4 p.m. slot in the
4 p.m. slot,
East Coast for our East Coast friends. We're all West Coast, but you got Bills, Lions, Steelers, Eagles, Bucks, Chargers. Game of the week or Sunday night. Packers,
I'm excited.
Seahawks.
I was gonna say I'm excited for Packers
game.
Seahawks. There's always some fuck shit that happens in that game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be watching
that game is always like the Seahawks and Packers always have some weird stuff happen. It's like Seahawks and Lions.
I think it's going to be an over.
I think so too, Maddie.
High scoring game.
Waiting all week for
what other games are good
night.
next week? Hold on, let me take a quick look.
Dolphins, Texans.
Hey, can the Dolphins beat a team with a winning record? That's still up for debate.
It would bring them to 500 if they could. What about, okay, so Bryce Young's coming on. They play the Cowboys at home. What do we think?
Steelers Eagles is a great game. Wow, dude, there's so many good 4:00 games.
Yeah.
Chargers, Bucks, Steelers, Eagles, Bills, Lions. I mean,
no more bye weeks either.
These games are better than the 1:00 games. It's usually the opposite.
We're out of bye weeks too, so we get to see everybody.
Mm-hmm. I got to buy in my fantasy playoffs in case you guys cared.
I did not. I barely made the playoffs.
Wow.
I squeaked in.
All right. My wife just brought in this fucking fruity wine drink.
Very nice.
I don't even know.
Enjoy.
It looks like a white sangria.
Yeah.
I don't practice sangria.
Are you guys excited for Army Navy?
Sure.
Do you guys remember
like
a couple
the one
years,
Saturday that bums me out because it's like the first Saturday. There's no football really. One game.
No, there's two this year.
What's the other one?
There's a bowl game, 8 p.m. South Alabama versus Western Michigan, the Salute to Veterans Bowl.
There you go.
Wow.
After Army Navy.
Are you going to stay at home watch that?
Yeah, of course I'm going to watch that,
If you care about
Maddie.
the troops, you will, Maddie. Do you remember a few years ago when Trump was like at the Army-Navy game and they're interviewing him? He's like, yeah, the football isn't that great, but you got to still support these guys.
You think Kamala will be there this year?
I don't know where she'll be.
Biden will be there.
I mean, maybe in his head.
He'll be there. He'll be like eating a hot dog. You guys haven't seen that since like the Democrats lost the election, he's like back to being normal.
That is pretty wild. I know he pardoned his son, but
he just doesn't give a fuck.
No, why not?
Just playing.
He's gonna be dead in 5 years. What does it matter?
5.
Right?
Probably sooner.
I don't know. Jimmy Carter's still kicking around.
That is true.
Isn't he in a coma?
Yeah, he's like they say he's not awake for like certain like for days at a time. He just won't wake up, and then he'll just get up. Yeah,
that's awesome.
He'll just be asleep for like 4 days and then be like
he's staying alive to watch that to make sure the Georgia Bulldogs win another national title.
Yeah. Where's he from?
Georgia.
He's from Georgia?
Yeah, he was a peanut farmer.
He was a peanut farmer.
I knew he was a peanut farmer. I didn't know it was in Georgia.
What high school did you go
to? Some public bullshit.
What college did you go to?
We covered World War II, Maddie, and we just kind of like, we're just like, after that.
Yeah, I get it.
Jim went to Sycamore.
I was actually alive when he was president.
Oh, yeah.
He was around when he said we were in a nation of crisis. And then the United States beat the Russian in hockey and the world changed.
That's right. Much better career after his presidency, too.
Mm-hmm.
We're better at diplomatic. Oh, Scott Frost is back.
Damn right, baby. Back to UCF.
He's coaching as head coach?
Yeah, he got hired as head coach for the UCF Knights. It's a crazy move. I mean, he obviously had success there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny it. I don't know what went wrong at Nebraska.
There's a lot that went wrong at Nebraska. I think maybe it was one of like the chosen son comes back. He bought into the hype, and then he just like partied way too much. Maybe being grounded as he has been will help him out. I'm rooting for him. I
don't know. I kind of feel like he's not the guy that actually gets humbled. I feel like he would just point the finger at everybody else.
I mean, also maybe, but I'm rooting for him at UCF.
For him just to keep partying and coaching. Like,
that would be sick too.
I just want Frost stories. I don't care about wins and losses.
That's my second favorite. I mean, the other one isn't confirmed, but it's a very heavily implied rumor is Belichick to the Tar Heels.
Well, there a story came out today. Like he will gladly accept that job if they adhere to his 400
Yeah,
page
Paige,
manifesto
his
thing,
Bible,
his
his
organizational Bible.
yes.
Yeah.
I think
So who
also which
knows?
includes his son as a coach in waiting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's part of the deal.
That is hilarious. And I don't know how you would even honor that.
I don't know
Like,
if that's like a real thing because like obviously it didn't work at Iowa. It didn't work at K State either. Like K State tried to do it
yeah.
for Snyder, it didn't work. Iowa tried to do it, didn't work. If his son's a good coach, his son will get a job.
Well, his son's coaching right? Where's
He's
his
the
son at
DC.
now?
He's the DC at Washington right now.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know.
I just
But
think it would be hilarious to see Bill Belichick on like college football media days,
oh
or
God.
like
Yeah.
having like on a scenario North Carolina loses to Wake Forest, and then Bill Belichick has to face like the media after
With everybody saying his girlfriend's going to be going
that too.
enrolling there.
Yeah, that'd be. I want to hear the words "We're on to Syracuse." I want to hear that.
That would be sick. That would be sick. And
I want,
who knows what other like weird little colleges they'll be playing
or
too.
like who he brings along too. If he gets a little
Yeah.
like he gets a whack pack to like just kind of like join and be bitches beneath him.
Right. Maddie, we're talking Belichick to North Carolina. What do you think?
Oh man,
Maddie,
he came in. He did a drive by.
he's just
Uh,
wandering around his house and we don't know what he's doing. I think he
Matty,
came back in to probably pee or something.
he's in the unknown right now. He's in the
The
void.
the underneath world or whatever is what's that Strangers Things?
Oh yeah, what the upside down or whatever the fuck it's
Upside
called.
down world. Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
Maddie is. That's how he lives most of
Yeah,
his life.
is it a done deal?
Where'd you well,
Not
let's talk about where you went first. Where'd you go?
I had to drop off a dog.
Oh, okay. We don't
not
know. No,
confirmed, but
it's
heavily
pending.
implied. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's fun. It's like Bill Walsh. Like Bill Walsh, well, he was from college and they went to the pros, and then he wanted to go back to college. So Belichick is probably like, you know what? I want to experience college football.
I
Like,
guess with the
what else
way
do I
college
need to
football
prove in the NFL?
is going, having a pro coach is not a bad idea with like having to retain players and the NIL stuff.
It's Bill Belichick. He's got a name,
That too. I
So for
I
him, it's
was
got to be a fun idea, a
I was
challenge.
telling Luke I can't wait. I hope it happens so I can hear Bill Belichick like if they lose to Wake Forest or something and just be like we're on to Syracuse. That'd be my favorite.
I'd love to see him recruit. I think it would be very Ron Swanson like. You
I
just
mean, you gotta
hold
ask yourself
yo,
how
like
much of an edge is he gonna have? He's up there in years. He's got a young girlfriend. Like how
Also, it would be crazy for me for UNC to go from an old ass Mac Brown to an old ass Bill Belichick.
but
that's
it's
the
still
one thing
Bill
I
Belichick.
find rough about it. Like if you're gonna be a serious program, you got to like have a true
Still
vision.
Bill Belichick. He's
That's
Yeah.
also
still
true.
he's still the GOAT. You
No,
know,
You
he
think
still got
it would be
six
awesome.
if he averages
NFL.
like 6 wins a year at UNC, is his
I
reputation
mean,
tarnished a
he's
little
got
bit?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see. I mean,
couldn't
it's
do it
probably
without Brady. They'll compare
it's
his Brady's record at Michigan to his record at UNC.
it's also a 4 year thing, like where he's gonna go. By year 4, we should try to win a national title and be in the playoffs. And by then, if it doesn't work at 76, it's like, I mean, how old is Trump? Trump is what, 80 now or some shit?
I think he's like
So
78.
if you still think your brain is going, why not? And why not try
Well, I
college?
think it's actually good for you to keep working
Yeah.
if you want to, because
Yeah,
a lot of people live longer when they
I
work,
do.
especially it's something they love, not because they
Mm.
have to, but
I've
just
seen so many people that hit retirement, stop working, and
yeah.
just watch TV and become like zombies and
Oh, and
die in
they
like
usually
years.
die. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
I wonder if he'll bring his son. His son did a so-so job at Washington, but I think
His son was fine. Like, I mean, they didn't have a ton to work with. He's
he
done a
probably
pretty
want
decent
his son
job.
to have his own journey too. Like it's good to let your son do his own thing. And
No, we were saying what was that a real thing you heard, Jim, about his son being the coach in waiting?
Oh, that was like something they implied during the interview
Oh,
process.
gotcha.
They talked about it then.
That would be funny, like the college version of LeBron and Bronny.
That would be very
Like,
funny.
listen, I'm coming, but I'm bringing my son. Better have my son with me. My son.
Oh, Dion's gonna, dude. I bet Dion's gonna try that if he gets a pro gig.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys or one of these other teams.
It sounds like they're going for the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah. I don't know if it will work, but hey, Brady's a huge Dion guy, so there's that.
Like, kind of feels like the only place it could work is the Raiders. Yeah. Like, Mark Davis is gonna be like, okay, whatever.
The Jets, it won't work. It won't work with the Jets. It could work with the Raiders. The Jets is too like the market in New York. If it goes bad real fast, it could get real ugly real fast.
All right, we got some other news before we get out of here. Juan Soto to the Mets, record-breaking $766 million.
Crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But the Mets are looking real good, though. But that's more than Ohtani's, and Ohtani plays two positions, so I don't know how I feel about that.
Crazy deal. What insane, but it's not my money, so what do I care?
Well, apparently the Yankees had a chance to match it. They didn't. Soto was also asking for a free suite at the Yankees.
The Mets just got, the Yankees got Jared Fry today, who's a pretty solid starter.
Right. No, they'll be fine. But Soto, he was
great. They can honestly, pitching will win in the end for them. So if they can put like three pitchers, one relief pitcher, and the money that they got Soto got, they win. So I would not feel bad for the Yankees or cry tears for the Yankees.
I do not feel bad.
Yeah. Speaking of tears, we have Jamel Hill sobbing over the firing of Eric Bieniemy this week from UCLA.
Well, he didn't do a good job. I don't know what to say.
Can I be 100% honest with you guys? Could this be a trust circle?
Keep it hundo.
I did not realize Eric Bieniemy was the OC at UCLA.
Yeah, I did.
I totally forgot. I totally forgot.
Get another job too. These guys get fired all the time.
Oh God, I was already reading an article like the Bears' next head coach just became unexpectedly free, and I'm reading the article, and it's like Eric Bieniemy. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Look, he'll do fine as an OC. He'll get another job somewhere. Someday, I hope he gets a head coaching job, but when you don't do well, you get fired. Guys get fired all the time. This is a job where a lot of OCs and DCs have been fired in the middle of the season on a lot of teams.
Mike Gundy agrees to a salary reduction to remain the coach at Oklahoma State. This is sort of a Harbaugh type move. Go ahead, Jim.
I'm going to be betting Oklahoma State next year, just to let everyone know. Right,
they always will come back.
This is the biggest doubt year in Oak. Like they're coming off their worst season under Gundy. No one will believe.
How did they do last year?
All over Oklahoma State. Yeah. They almost played for the conference championship, didn't they?
Yeah,
last year.
The last few years.
How did they do last year? Let me see.
I think 2 years ago they would have. If the playoffs were 12 teams, they would have definitely made the playoffs.
But I think they've been declining.
They went 10-4 overall last year.
Oh, okay.
That's still pretty good.
Remember.
It's probably better than Oklahoma.
Yeah, because they lost. Oh, yeah, they lost to Texas in the Big 12 championship game.
All right.
So I will be betting Oklahoma State next year. Forewarning.
NBA news: Jalen Brunson wants Dick, he will take Dick.
What does that mean?
It means he wants to guard Grady Dick from the Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
But apparently, this is what he kept saying, according to Josh Hart in the huddles. He kept going, Jalen Brunson kept saying, I want Dick. I'll take Dick.
Okay.
So that's what happens when you got a guy with a last name Dick sometimes in the league. Final story, there's a 30 for 30 coming out with Mark Gastineau confronting Brett Favre over Brett Favre's flop for Michael Strahan to get the sack record. Maddie, how do you feel about that?
Well, I get it because I think records should be broken the right way, and I do remember Favre taking a dive, but whatever. I don't know if it's worthy of a 30 for 30, but
Yeah.
Gastineau's career would be a great 30 for 30 because he was also this crazy guy who retired from football. That's the story, to marry Leslie Nielsen or Bridget Nielsen. I
From
bet.
Naked Gun,
And then
Leslie
he was a
Nielsen.
boxer, and
Yeah, baby.
he was part of a boxing scam where he was fighting the guys who were taking dives against him.
Oh boy, so he definitely has no room to talk. There was a reality show with his ex-wife and his
Yeah.
daughter too. The
Like he had the
Gastineaus or something.
craziest sack dance. Look up Mark Gastineau's sack dance, and he was way ahead of his time.
He literally would pull out his sack.
Well, no, but he had a
Yeah.
crazy dance, and they outlawed it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
But he was hated. People hated that guy,
yeah,
right?
he was hated. He also had a terrible roughing the passer to help the Browns win a playoff game in 1986. They lost a heartbreaker. So his career is more interesting. Probably the least interesting thing about him is the whole, Michael Strahan controversy, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And like, look, it happens. One year, I think the last year, Derek Jeter was in an all-star game. I remember Adam Wainwright just laid a pitch right down the middle of the plate. And, it was an all-star game, but like you knew he just put it right down the middle of the plate, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna give one. And that's shitty.
Sure.
So I'm not for guys laying down at any time, but it's part of sports.
It's like when Magic Johnson came back with AIDS in the All-Star game, and
Yeah, I remember
everybody.
that.
And then there was a Chris Rock bit because Dennis Rodman, he said everybody was just letting him play, and then Dennis Rodman was guarding him like he had AIDS too.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He was all up on him. By the way, Mark Gastineau was married to Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah, not Leslie Nielsen from Naked
Bridget
Gun.
Nielsen, the hot Russian wife in Rocky Four,
Yeah.
and the bad lady in the movie
season.
Cobra. He retired in the middle of a season.
In the middle of a season to be with her.
Oh man, they should have had children. She was just a giant goddess.
Well, I think she dated Sylvester Stallone at that time. Like she was all over.
She was married to she ended up marrying Sylvester Stallone too, and then like cheating on him with Ridley Scott or something like that.
Yeah, and then going out with Mark Gastineau.
Yeah, and then she ended up dating Flavor Flav and having a reality show. All right, guys, I guess that's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you all next week for another exciting edition of Sports Home.
Sports Home.
Right. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.
Right on, Indiana, baby.
Yeah.
Smoke them up.
Let's go. Who's yours?